Jerk alert!
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Tractor beam sucked me right in.
He slimed me.
It's not a tumor.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Movie Roulette Podcast. I'm Shroud.
I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
How's everybody doing this week?
Doing good. Doing great.
Pretty good. It's been a weird fucking day today, but pretty good.
It's been a real weird day today.
Real weird day.
More on that later.
Yep. You can say moron. That's a hint.
Yeah.
But either way.
Anybody got anything noteworthy to mention before we get into this?
No.
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Okay. I got a question for you guys.
Uh-huh.
Favorite Mario Brothers game?
2.
I feel like you're lying to yourself and me and Jason.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's
Because it's
everybody's
absolutely
last.
3.
It is 3. It is 3.
It's not even an opinion. It's fact.
It's
I
straight
like,
up.
I like 2 because it is the most different. It's the up and down. Like, it's not only side scroll. You get the up and down on it.
I heard that was bullshit. That was somebody else's design. And they just slapped their name on it.
They did. They just reskinned it. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I stand by the opinion that Super Mario Brothers 3 is one of the greatest video games ever made. And I'm not a gamer. I'm not a gamer. I don't own any systems. I have in the past here and there, but I'm not much, maybe once a month I'll play for an hour if I have one. I'm not much of a gamer, but
with you, I'm not much of a gamer.
This is
so
relevant.
who am I to be speaking on this? But my personal opinion, it's 3.
Yeah, for sure.
I was just saying, my favorite is 2. 3 is the best one.
That's right. There is a difference between best and favorite. And
Yeah.
People get that mixed up a lot. I think that it's both my favorite and the best is 3.
Right.
But this is relevant because we watched The Wizard, and they introduced a little game called Super Mario Brothers 3 in this movie.
It is.
Yes.
So,
I think it's time we take a shot before Andy tells us about this thing.
I
would agree with that.
And we are taking
It's a treat.
It's Dr. McGillicuddy's butterscotch liqueur again. This is the greatest stuff on earth.
hey,
treat.
Sponsorship. We will shoot this every single fucking time. Whoa.
Oh God.
Oh, sorry.
Hey,
So-
to Xenu.
To Xenu.
Hail Xenu.
And
Of
to
course.
Super Mario Brothers.
And to Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh, man. Fucking love that.
I forgot how
want
good that was.
candy.
Ow. Ow.
That is the most delicious.
I think I'm going to have to do another one later on.
Yeah, for sure.
So good.
It's almost like a Werther's meets a butterscotch candy.
Werther's? Well, Werther's.
Werther's original.
Handies.
Where there's a candy, there's a movie called The
Oh yeah, this is not. This
That's
isn't
what
the
I'm
Candy
trying to
Roulette podcast, guys. You know, I tend to get. I'm a long-winded dickball, as they call me, and I tend to get long-winded about shit that has nothing to do with the movie when we get started. So,
Yeah, kinda
Andy,
is.
tell us about The Wizard.
What are you going to say? You're going to say the truth is what?
Well, the truth is we do a Candy Roulette podcast. We just don't record it.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We should start doing that. Someday we'll do that.
What they don't, again, the listeners don't know is that we do a podcast on every fucking subject in the world before we get started every time.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yep.
It's usually a while before we get into the movie, and
Yeah.
you guys just get to hear
We
the
are
edited for TV version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, again, I say, Andy, tell us about The Wizard.
All right. So, got to start over on this page. All right. So, The Wizard from 1989, which introduced Super Mario Brothers 3, we'll get to that when it happens, was written by David Chisholm and directed by Todd Holland, starring Fred Savage, Luke Edwards, Ginny Lewis, Beau Bridges, Christian Slater, Jackie Vincent, and a special guest of Tobey fucking Maguire.
This is true. This is true. Tobey Maguire.
So, if you have
not
not
lying.
seen this, what's up, you grody gamers? Let me tell you a little story about a clearly autistic kid who was really bitching at playing video games and runs away from this gnarly institution with his totally tubular brother, Corey. Wow, that one hurt. They join up with this righteous chick, Haley, and make their way all the way from Utah to Reno and then finally to LA to play in the bodacious video game championships.
Video Armageddon.
Along the way, they run into this gnarly dude, Lucas, who most likely brings out Jason's bully instincts. Fuck that guy. Anyways, the kiddos are being chased. Anyways.
Fuck that guy.
Shit. Anyways, the kiddos are being chased by this total dork Putnam, their dad, their older brother, who is Christian fucking Slater, by the way, holy shit, and their mom and stepdad too. There's a lot of people in this family. It's hard as fuck to try and keep track of. Anyways, can the little dude win the tournament, or will the wizard whiz on himself? Listen and find out.
Okay, I got 3 things. First, my guess is, who are you? Are you the Video Armageddon host?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was my first guess.
Okay, second is, he's not autistic. He's got PTSD from losing his sister.
He seems like not very vocal.
And I loved your thing. And then third is, that's not their mom. That's only Jimmy and Jennifer's mom.
I know.
Okay.
But
just didn't want to confuse the fans.
oh, they'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of
I
fans,
like that. That was good, especially when probably couldn't bring out Jason's bully instincts. Fuck that guy.
that was obviously my favorite part. Fuck that guy.
Andy, I love these surprise
That's why I'm gonna keep
trailer
doing this.
descriptions.
That's why I'm
They're
gonna keep
great,
doing it.
and I like seeing you get into different characters. It's one of my favorite things about doing an episode.
To say, I don't remember the first time I would have actually watched this or when it became. I know it wasn't in theaters. I don't remember seeing commercials for it. This wasn't something that was, I feel like, heavily commercialized or promoted.
I do, man.
You know, like back in the day, we saw commercials. It's
Right.
like all the toys and breakfast cereals and all
Yeah,
the bullshit.
they still have them.
I don't, and you would see commercials for the big movies and shit. I don't recall ever seeing any promotion for this movie.
I do, but
Okay.
so I mean, do you guys want me to go? I remember the first time I saw it because I mean, this
I have
one
no
kind of
idea.
holds a big place in my heart
Well,
because
tell us about it.
well, so this is
Yeah,
kind
I'd
of
like to hear.
Yeah, so this story is actually kind of written about me. I was
Based on a true story.
yeah,
Jason.
back in 1988. I was hitting a rough patch. Second grade was about ready to start. My parents just moved. My sister got the bigger room.
That's brutal. The
yeah.
room thing that sucks. That'll fuck you
She
up.
was the only girl and the youngest.
Yeah.
That's context that does matter.
I was overwhelmed with everything, and so I just grabbed. I heard they were releasing the new Double Dragon movie or game out in St. Louis, so I grabbed.
2, you mean?
No, yeah, Double Dragon 2. It was coming out, and so I grabbed my TMNT lunchbox, my skateboard, and I started sketching and hitching a ride down to St. Louis.
You sketched and hitched.
I
No
sketched and
fucking
hitched.
way.
I totally did. I was 7 years old, dude. It was the 80s. That shit happened.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yep.
Party.
I got there. I entered it. I got third.
Uh-huh.
David Chisholm heard about it. He was there randomly, and we talked, and he was like, so we wrote the story together. And unfortunately, because I was so young, I spent all of my royalties for this movie on fucking Ecto Cooler and shit like that. So
I mean, that was an investment, if you ask me.
Yeah, I know.
That shit was
But you
delicious.
drank it all.
I drank it all.
I
Yeah,
remember.
no. So honestly, I remember the first time I was at a friend's birthday party. It was because it was December, and I remember the friend that it was. We all went out there and saw it. Then afterwards, we got home and watched the HBO show Dream On, and we got to see boobs for the first time on TV.
Let me ask you something. Were all the other kids at the birthday party, were they impressed with this being like a biopic of you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They were there all about it. Yeah.
That's fucking
Yeah.
It was so
awesome.
cool.
I
Interesting.
love
So,
that. That's great.
so then it was written about you.
How am I supposed to follow that up?
No, I was joking. It wasn't written about me.
Oh.
God damn it, Andy. He pulled one on us again. He does this
But it was
a lot.
written about his sister.
It was about my sister.
No.
But no, yeah. So
I felt like it was a tall tale from the beginning.
Yeah.
It was the hitching and skitching that got me right there. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was hitching and
That's-
sketching.
That's when he really grabbed me, actually.
Yeah,
was
you're
the
like,
hitching and
all right,
sketching.
I can
Yeah.
picture him putting on some blades, holding onto
Yeah,
a bumper or two, going down I-70, 75 mile an hour.
the 80s. They didn't go
I
that
actually
fast.
don't recall the first time I saw this. I remember it being. We watched it a lot.
Right.
As
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it was 89. It could have been 90, but we certainly rented it at the
Right.
video store quite a bit. And then I think once it came out on VHS, because the movie rental places would have it before you could buy it.
Yeah.
I think we bought a copy because I think we had it on VHS too. In between, like we kind of mentioned already, between this, Little Monsters, and the Wonder Years, like Fred Savage was killing it.
Yeah. This was his era.
And you're lying to yourself and all of us if you say that you weren't a fan back then.
This, I don't have necessarily a memory. I feel like it kind of became one of those cult classics later where it's like, do you remember that 80s movie, The Wizard? And it's like, I think I watched it maybe once and it's all fuzzy. I don't remember.
I remember it so well because of the Power Glove.
I will say
I'll
this
get
one,
to it. I'll get to it when we meet
this
Power
movie
Glove.
is like it kisses the ass of our generation.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I bet it has a lot of staying power for us, our age group, because of the nostalgic factor.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys want to take a shot and then do the scene by scene?
Yeah. Scene by scene.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
The scene by scene?
The scene by scene.
All right, Xenu again, of course.
To Xenu.
Don't wanna
Here's
start
to you,
the master.
blacksmith, and
And
to
Kevin
the future,
Costner.
and to Xenu,
And to Kevin Costner.
and Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner, Xenu, of course.
Oh, God bless it. Sir, we got
Okay.
scene one.
All right, scene 1. You guys ready for this shit?
Yeah, that's fine. Scene one now.
Scene one
Scene one
here.
now. Okay. The Wizard opens on the side of a desert highway where we meet 7-year-old Jimmy Woods, who is walking alone with his prized and mysterious lunchbox. We learn that he is a runaway headed to California as he is picked up by a police officer. We then see Jimmy at a facility while his mother and stepfather talk with a social worker about Jimmy's habit of wandering off as a way to cope with his deep trauma. They ultimately decide to put Jimmy in a home for kids like him.
Jimmy's mom and stepdad kind of suck.
Total
Definitely.
assholes.
Okay.
We learn that Jimmy lives with PTSD after his twin sister Jennifer drowned 2 years earlier. This is why he's prone to randomly wandering away from home and why he perpetually carries around a lunchbox while frequently repeating the word California. Jennifer's death caused Jimmy's family to split. He lives with his mother Christine and stepfather Mr. Bateman, while his older half-brothers Nick and Corey live with their father Sam.
So wait. Who's on first?
It's got to be your bowl.
Listen, guys, they all have the same dad, Sam.
Uh-huh.
But Christine is only Jimmy's mom, who now has custody after the tragic event.
Okay.
Mr. Bateman is just her dickhead new husband. He's nobody's fucking dad.
Okay. Proceed.
Got it.
After Corey hears about Jimmy living in a home, he is unwilling to allow it. After a tense argument with his father, Corey runs away to Utah and sneaks Jimmy out of the facility. They sneak a ride out of town and start traveling on foot to Los Angeles. Upon discovering this, Nick and Sam resolve to bring the boys back, but they will have to compete with Mr. Putnam, a greedy bounty hunter hired by Mr. Bateman and Christine to find Jimmy.
Putnam is such a bitch. He sets off my bully instincts way more than that other fucking kid. Andy.
Yeah. We got two in this movie that do that.
Yeah.
After a day or so of traveling, Corey and Jimmy arrive at a bus station. While Jimmy plays a Double Dragon arcade game,
Memories.
Corey learns that they don't have near enough money to get to Los Angeles on a bus. Jimmy and Corey then meet Haley Brooks, a young girl on her way home to Reno.
Yeah, that's Jenny Lewis. Such a fan.
Yep, same. When they discover that Jimmy is innately talented at playing video games, Haley informs Corey of Video Armageddon, a gaming tournament being held at Universal Studios Hollywood with a grand prize of $50,000.
Ooh.
Corey sees the tournament as an opportunity to avert Jimmy's institutionalization by showcasing his talent, and Haley agrees to help take Jimmy there in return for a share of the winnings, but they would have to stop in Reno first.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that opens in this movie is we're in the desert, on the side of the highway.
You love it.
And the music's got such like kind of a Bruce Springsteen with
Slash
almost a little bit of
Christian
no. I thought it
vibes.
sounded like a little bit of like almost like Bruce Springsteen meets like the Stone Roses.
So I said it that like it doesn't really, the music doesn't match the scene. I think it's needed a little bit more Andy Griffith, a little bit less Toe the Wet Sprocket. So
No, I think that was good.
I don't know.
I don't think Andy Griffith would have been
think
good.
it sounded like Christian praise and worship music. I saw guys in button-up shirts with their hands
The thing
up,
is you
jumping
have a
up and down
tendency
in
to
circles.
you have a tendency to go there quite often, and I don't agree with it. But
Maybe it's because I just saw parts of that, and there's something about this sound that reminds me of that so much.
well, anyway, regardless of any of that, the scenery, I'm already sold.
I know. I figured I knew that you were going to love it like right
So,
away.
okay, then where exactly in the fuck are they?
They're in Utah.
Yeah.
Everybody's in Utah.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
in Green River, Utah.
I just felt like it never made it officially
I noticed
clear. Did it? And I missed it?
in your script. You said he runs away to Utah, but that's where they're in. I think Fallon, Utah, or something like
they're
that.
in
is what
Green River, Utah. But the way that they spell it there is
I didn't know where they started. I was so lost.
Sam's truck says Woods, Nursery, Woods, whatever, Fallon, Utah.
okay.
So,
but
so that's
So
where
they're in
yeah.
nearby towns to each other. But
right, but one of them is Green River, which
So after this fucking long intro of the praise and worship music
Yeah.
on the highway walking, they're clearly at somewhere where he's like, there's like a counselor. He's being looked at by doctors. He's like in a room alone playing in blocks where they're observing him and shit. But we also learn in this scene while they're talking that his mom and his stepdad don't really prioritize him or his feelings. They're like very much like, God, he's such a fucking burden. You know, they just, ugh.
Yeah.
His stepdad and mom give me the bum outs.
yeah, totally.
For sure.
would you say that they bring out your bully instincts?
Not yet.
No. Not them. It doesn't make me want to bully him.
I want to bully Mr. Bateman for sure.
He is kind of a dick.
He is a big dick.
He's a real dick.
But I just, and we are on dick patrol. But like, he's the guy that that just like
normally a different kind of dick patrol.
I know. But like, he's the type of dude that still wears whitey tighties. Bateman, not Sam McMurray. Bateman still wears whitey tighties nowadays and slaps his ass after he pulls him up every morning.
What's wrong with that?
Just pull. It's like I'm gonna slapping your ass.
I mean, I wear tidy whities and I smack my ass afterwards. You want to see?
I felt like you were.
You want to see? You want to see?
Intentionally targeting Strout with that comment.
No, I don't think he's picking up
we
on it.
We all know about the whiteys and the ass slap.
I know that. I don't think he's picking up on it.
And the fucking skid marks I leave in him.
Skid mark Steve.
But we see the stepdad and mom though, like basically commit to be like, I would just rather put him in an institution. I would rather put him in a home. And then that's when it cuts to Beau Bridges' character Sam, which is his real father, who has only custody of his kids from a previous marriage, which is Corey and his brother Nick.
Right.
Yes.
Dude,
Fred
Savage,
Christian
Slater,
Slater.
Thus pretty much arguably the true stars of this film. At least I would say the box office draw at the time.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's at least put that.
Yeah.
Because I won't say they're the stars. They're up there.
I think
Fred Savage really is.
This is a Fred Savage movie more than anything.
100%.
But you could say that Jenny Lewis had maybe a bigger spot than Christian Slater.
So I love Corey's super passionate about keeping his brother out of a home.
Yeah, he's all about it.
There has to be a deleted scene here, though, because let's talk about it. It cuts to them. He's like, saw Jimmy yesterday. For one, how did you see Jimmy yesterday? How close do you live to him currently? I'm not clear on this. And he's like, they're thinking about sending him to a home. And I'm like, you already know? We just found out.
Right.
But okay. So this is like obviously a little bit of time has passed between that cut.
Yeah.
From the hospital to here.
Well, so yeah, like that's
how his dad is just like, oh, I don't care.
I've never noticed it before, but exactly that. Like he's kind of in this frame of mind of like, yeah, he's with Christine now. I can't do anything about it. Before I was like, yeah, he doesn't care. Is what I. But now,
it's clearly the trauma.
It's definitely like Sam is he's incredibly hurt over it.
Yes,
but he's kind of given up.
Yeah. So, he's just like, she got him, I got you guys. We're moving forward.
So they kind of argue that after the casserole, and they Corey goes outside. Nick follows him, and he offers to take him to Dairy Queen.
Yeah,
and I just wanted to comment that Dairy Queen solves everything.
It does, dude. A blizzard,
especially for kids in the late '80s. Yeah.
So the next thing that happens, I think, is that Corey like leaves to start trying to go get Jimmy.
Yeah, because he hears like his dad and Nick arguing that night because Nick took the truck or some bullshit, and it's kind of like this way to isolate Corey to almost give him an idea. Maybe he starts to throw darts at the map, and he's like, "Hey, California." He hits a bunch of other states, where he's like, "No," until he finally hits California and like the fourth dart or some shit.
Well,
so he's like, "I got an idea."
I would be so pissed off if Gavin would be sitting there throwing darts at it. Put a corkboard behind it.
Who the fuck is Gavin?
He's my kid. But like, if he was up in his room throwing darts at the wall, I'd be like, "What are you doing? Put a corkboard behind it. Come on, that's a lot of holes I got to fix."
You got a fucking dart in your neck. Throwing darts at the map, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's like getting off a bus or some shit, right? Like at the facility.
Yeah. Oh no.
How far away is that facility?
Well, so
I'm saying it's neighboring town. It's like Blue Springs versus Rain Valley.
So
Blue Springs versus Independence.
Like that's what I think it's starting. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like real close. But I don't know if he was on that bus or it was just one of those like shots that, hey, here's the bus. He's at a corner. And he has a really rad Vision skateboard, by the way. But so we have a situation here again where Corey just breaks into an institution thing where it's supposed to be secured. He just walks in, pulls a kid out. Nobody fucking does anything.
Someone was loading in shit.
It was a hostess guy. I get that, but he doesn't come like he goes.
Did you notice all the other little kids?
Yes,
they look like they're living in like it's like an old folks home, but for kids.
Right.
Yeah,
it's the institute.
Kids with like problems. They just house them and like drug them up.
It's just
and
like
shit.
a big house that's like it's like an orphanage.
It's like a halfway house kind of a situation.
Yeah, but Corey's able just to go right on in. So
he snuck in while they were.
He's another kid.
No, with a cool deck.
Yeah, he eventually finds him in his room.
Jimmy, we're gonna do a little traveling. Just you and me. What do you think? California? Yeah. California. Come on.
So after they've escaped, we get like the Batemans they're actually at the home after Jimmy escapes with Corey.
Uh-huh.
And this is my first time that I'm like, I definitely want to beat the shit out of Mr. Bateman.
Yeah, he's a real dick here.
He's a fucking prick.
Even worse though is Putnam. I have it in here. Like this is my first one. Fuck Putnam. That guy just looks like a dick.
Yeah, I put that he looks like a skinnier version of George Costanza.
I can see that now. That is perfect.
For the record, your two sons, one of whom I am legally responsible for, have decided to eat their way across.
I don't see why we're standing here talking about it.
Because you are missing the point. I have an obligation to the welfare of this child. I have to see that he is returned here for the kind of treatment he needs. Now, granted, the police are looking.
We've hired someone to find him. Mr. Putnam.
Mr. Putnam retrieves runaways professionally. He's going to bring back Jimmy.
What about Corey?
Well, Corey wants to run away, doesn't he? I mean, even if we brought him back, would it do any good?
Mr. Woods, excuse me. Just so you know, I make my money by bringing kids in, and I don't make it if someone else brings a kid in first. You catch my drift, huh? So let's not be getting in my way, okay?
And sure enough, that's when he's like, all right, let's get your shit. We're going. And I thought that was like kind of the beginning of this bonding moment where you can tell they set up a bunch of friction between Sam and Nick.
Yeah.
But now like they're in this shit together. And it's because it's like a spite quest against Putnam. He's the one who kicked it off. Like, fuck him. I am going to go now.
Yeah. And I do love the interactions later on between the three of these guys. So
yeah.
So they walk from the gas station to the bus station, right? And Fred Savage gives Jimmy no time to like get anything going. He puts in the money, goes, play. What's wrong with you? Play. And like he puts his hands on the thing and he starts playing or whatever.
And then he's like, you got 50,000 on Double Dragon?
And that's what sparks Haley. She's like, what?
Yeah, because he's trying to get a bus ticket to go to LA. And it turns out they don't have near enough money.
No.
Not even close.
2 tickets to California, please.
You got someplace specific in mind, or would you just like to be dumped at the border?
Is Los Angeles specific enough?
That's $226.
Well, we only have $27.30. What does that get us?
Nowhere. It's $34 just to St. George, Utah.
That's it? You got 50,000 on Double Dragon?
So, yeah, so she follows them out behind the
into
like back
the
into like the storage or whatever,
right?
And she like kind of confronts him
about it.
Yeah, like what are you up to? Because she's gonna fucking blackmail him if she has to.
Yeah.
The next thing I have is Sam, like they're in the truck.
Yeah.
And Nick's asleep. Sam's driving, and he drove all night in the wrong direction for one thing.
Right.
Oh.
And then my question is, how the fuck did Nick sleep through that? Like, who are these people who don't have to wake up at all through the night?
Right.
And
that John Denver's full of shit.
Yeah, he said it. And did you notice he was
there's not a night where I don't have to wake up at least once to pee.
I know,
maybe
right?
twice, maybe 3
I know,
times.
it gets worse as you get older,
I'm the oldest one here. Don't tell me.
I know.
He
I'm
even
just
says-
letting the listeners know.
You drove the whole damn night, and he goes, I must have stopped 50 times and asked.
And he didn't wake up
I'm
once.
like, not one time.
Dude, like Nick just looks at the map, doesn't like, hey, we're like, look at the road signs or anything
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
He's like, no, you're going the wrong way. And I'm like, you have no idea yet. You just fucking woke up.
Exactly.
You have sleep in your eyes. You're like, hold on, what the fuck? He's like, wait, we're going the wrong way. How do you know? You don't know.
You don't know.
Is there air? You don't know.
Maybe he saw a city sign.
No, he just
Like right when
he
he
wakes
woke
up
up.
and like look. I don't know. Maybe they didn't show it, but yeah, you would have to at least see the little road signs and the mileage markers to be like, all right, we're on I-70, mile marker 253. We're supposed to be on the 80, not the 70. Like shit like that.
And then the next thing I have is kids are at a diner.
And they're playing Ninja Gaiden.
And New Kids on the Block is playing in the background.
Thank you.
The right stuff.
Yep, I did notice this.
The right stuff.
You got that right stuff, baby.
There's 2 of them in
Love
this.
the way you turn me on. Yeah, they play. There's another scene where
Yep.
there's
I'm so glad you guys picked up on that.
Obviously, it was like
I
a
loved it.
huge hit at the
It
time.
was.
Dun, 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 dun.
I love the white stuff, baby. In the middle of an Oreo.
Oreo. Oreo. What's in the middle? The white stuff.
He's like, you can see him in my teeth. Tell it when I talk. Had so much my pancreas just went into shock. I love the white stuff.
That's Weird Al, isn't it?
Yeah, fuck yeah, it is. Weird Al rules.
Look at him. He's making the jump. It's his second time through, and he hasn't even taken a hit yet. He's a wizard. So he can play Ninja Gaiden. So what? So I got an idea. You want to go to California, and you want to prove that Jimmy doesn't belong in a home. Do you think they'd put him in a home after he'd won this? A video game contest. What's this matter to you anyway? It's a business deal. If I can get you to California and he wins, we split the money. Do you think I'd hang around a pair like you for my health?
So yeah, that's it. Scene two.
Scene two?
Scene two.
After traveling all night. Oh, do I need to say scene two again?
Nope. I think we got that one.
Scene two now. After traveling all night, Jimmy and Corey's dad, Sam, and their brother Nick have arrived at the same bus station the boys were just at. They are hot on their heels, but they run into Mr. Putnam, who is also looking for the boys, and he is not welcoming of the competition. Putnam pops Sam's tires, and Sam smashes Putnam's car up with a shovel.
That escalated quickly.
Then we see the trio of kids get robbed by some truckers who were giving them a ride. Meanwhile, while Meanwhile, while waiting for the truck to be repaired, Nick begins playing Corey's old Nintendo, which piques Sam's interest. With the kids now broke, they arrive at another small town. They take their last $4 and hustle some old guys at an arcade game. Success! Now they got $47.12.
Okay, so you guys remember the 80s. It was common to see dudes in their 50s wearing business attire blowing off steam at the arcades.
My dad did that every day.
I never saw a fucking adult at an arcade.
Nope.
Like, let alone like, oh, I just got off work. I'm at some diner playing arcade. Insane.
Yeah.
They continue to hitchhike cross-country using Jimmy's skills to win bets on games, upsetting some kids and making some enemies in the process. They eventually meet popular but snobbish gamer Lucas Barton, who demonstrates his ability to play Rad Racer with a power glove.
I love the power glove. So bad. Yeah, well, keep your power gloves off Jenny Lewis, you dickhead.
After shaking their confidence, Lucas also informs Haley he will be competing at Video Armageddon. Meanwhile, Nick and Sam's normally tense relationship is showing signs of improvement during their search. We see them bonding one night, playing Corey's Nintendo at a motel room. After a night camping at an abandoned drive-in movie theater, the kids are robbed again, but this time by some kids they had hustled earlier. Corey and Haley then learn that Jimmy's prized lunchbox contains photos and mementos of his dead twin sister, Jennifer. Corey is ready to give up, but Jimmy speaks up for the first time. He doesn't want to quit.
Glad we got that scene over with.
Yeah, bummer.
With a new burst of energy, the trio head to Reno with Putnam, Nick, and Sam still hot on their trail as we see another violent encounter between them, leaving both of their cars almost destroyed.
Again with the quick escalation.
Yeah, I know.
As the kids finally hitchhike into Reno, they have a plan to get the money and training they need for Video
Armageddon.
Ooh, we're getting to the Video Armageddon.
Putnam is a creep and a chicken shit.
Yep. I just said Putnam is a dick. That's
yeah, he
number two.
really started this. He went out there and fucking popped their tires. He popped their new tires.
This son's a... You know what?
Have you noticed what Sam has in the back of his truck this entire time?
A tree.
That thing is going to be dead.
Landscaping supplies.
That is going to... it's a tree. He has a tree.
Well, there's a tree as well, but it's surrounded by like bags of mulch and things like
He
that.
just keeps that wet and shit, and he can probably handle it for a few days.
But yeah, the tree sticking out of the back of the tree sticking out of the back of the truck in the truck bed was always weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, take that thing out or put it down.
Yeah.
It's sticking up straight up and down, and it bothers me.
Yeah.
But so after the car bashing scene between Putnam and Sam, Nick comes out across the street and he says something to Sam about, well, while we're here, why don't we get a bite to eat? Have I spoken before about the phrase, get a bite to eat?
No.
No, I don't think so.
So anytime I hear a bite, let's get a bite to eat, it's a common phrase in movies and stuff, TV shows.
Totally.
And I enjoy hearing that phrase. It conjures up images of what it means to me. I always think of like someone, they're going to go chew on a burger you're getting a bite to eat, it's going to be like a burger probably.
They're gonna swallow it or just chew on it.
You're not. Let's go get a bite to eat. You're not getting spaghetti. You're not getting fucking pizza.
You're getting.
I think you're going to a roadside diner.
Yeah,
that's where because it is in that context.
And you're probably getting burger and
of like you're on your way somewhere,
and a Coke.
And it's like you're on your way somewhere. You're not on your way to dinner. You're just gonna get a bite to eat.
Yeah,
on your way to like
High Boy. High Boy is a prime example
thing.
of if you're gonna get a bite to eat,
Oh,
you're gonna go to High Boy.
I just think about a booth next to the window.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
But all right, so they cut back over to Fred and Haley Corey and Haley talking, and she's like, "My dad runs. He's a trucker, and he goes back and forth from Reno to KC.
Yep,
never picked up on it. I'm like, oh, got some KC love here.
Yeah,
getting a little bit of a mention.
Yeah,
and they're in like the back of a truck with the livestock and shit.
Oh yeah, they have a code.
The truckers look back and see Haley going through a wad of dollar bills or some
like
sort of dollar bills,
counting their cash.
The dollar bills.
And those guys, they put their hands on those kids for a measly $50. There's
109 actually.
Creeps.
She had 87, and he had
21.
Yeah, 21. 25 and change. But
yeah, she trusted these guys because she said they live by the trucker's code.
Blown, dude.
Yeah,
and then when it cuts to them like robbed, penniless on the side of the road.
Well, that's some code they got.
Jimmy's just chilling. He didn't give a fuck. His lunchbox is fine, so he doesn't care.
There is a code, and those truckers were living by it. It's cash, grass, or ass. Nobody rides for free.
Yep.
They took the cash.
That's right.
So they're just following their code.
So the guys are getting fucking white walls to replace their tires.
Ladder rung number 2.
Super Mario Brothers 2.
Super Mario, like it made it in here, and that's anyways. Ladder rung number 2. As they're walking around, and he's like, "We don't have any tires your size unless you want the white walls." Dude walks by, pulls out a screwdriver. Putnam popped his tire with a knife, both of his tires with a knife, and shoved it in, and then took it out and walked away.
He didn't leave a screwdriver in there.
He didn't leave the screwdriver. Where'd that screwdriver come from?
They have other enemies.
Ah, okay.
They really pissed off other people.
Ladder rung. This ladder. That's number 2 on this ladder that's being built tonight.
Boy, I sure hope we get to climb on top of the roof.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get there. So excited. But yeah, this is where we see him like, and I guess it's kind of the point is where they keep kind of spoon feeding us the Nintendo situation where it's just like Sam and Nick are beginning to understand more about Jimmy as they play this game, but they don't know Jimmy plays games really.
Right.
And in this Corey's old Nintendo, it's kind of this weird
it's Corey's old
situation around the Nintendo. But either way, it's kind of a bonding thing. And I just feel like it's a vehicle for the viewer to be like, ooh, Nintendo. It's like meant for the kids watching.
Yeah.
It's like, because so far, this is a little bit dramatic for a kid's movie.
It's
like,
a lot bit dramatic.
We're like, here, give them a little more Nintendo. Give them a little more video games. Gotta sprinkle that shit in.
Nick fixed the Nintendo, and Sam was kind of like shocked by that.
Yeah, I don't think he knew this. Yeah, I don't think he knew that his kid could do all that shit.
And then they're at the car place, the repair shop, and he sets up that Nintendo and he walks in there and he's like, "What are you doing?" "Just playing it." And he goes,
What the hell is that?
It's Corey's old video game. Found in the back of the pickup truck.
I thought the old one was broken.
Yeah, it was. I fixed it.
You fixed it? And you just hook it up, you don't ask.
It's not like I'm cutting tags off of mattresses, Pop. It's just a video game. You want to know, you bought it for him.
But then it cuts back to the kids arriving in another small town, and this is where they're like bickering at each other and arguing, like, "Oh, great, we're broke," and all this shit. And it goes,
Where are we? Does it matter? We're broke. Oh, yeah, you're telling me. You're the one with all the trucker friends. The one who knows all the codes. I got you this far, didn't I? Oh, I don't even know what this is. A lot of faith you got. Oh, will you stop, Haley? I mean, we don't have any money. Aren't you just a little scared? I don't get scared. Now give me the $4 you're holding out on. What? You flashed 21, you stashed 4 from the change at lunch. They didn't get it because you put it in your shorts. Now dish it up. You're getting awful personal, you know. You've got to find someone dumb enough to sucker. And seeing how it's too warped for you, I guess it's up to me. Wait a minute. That's my $4. All right, now pay attention. I might learn something here.
Hey, I could beat you the way they were going now. Oh, there you go.
Perfect. They're salesmen. Wait here.
yeah, these guys are wearing like their ties like loosened up, like they just had a long day at a sales job, but they're like kind of like at a truck stoppy kind of diner in the middle of a small town.
Yeah.
And they're playing like the only arcade game over in the corner, and it's just two of them. They're like into it. I'm just like, that is not ever something. It seems like this plot was written by a kid. We're gonna hustle these business guys.
Would a kid put a Tom Petty Full Moon Fever poster on the side of the arcade game? I don't think so.
That's someone that's pretty cool.
Because there is one.
I told you, I don't get scared. And then he puts on that fucking mask. Whenever
and she punches him.
I always fucking love that scene.
They're in the cab of that sleeper truck.
Yeah.
So I remember just going, Jimmy, do not put your head on that pillow.
Oh, I know. It's so fucking gross.
Those sleeper cabs are some of the most disgusting places.
Especially this one's in a junkyard.
Yeah.
Like the windows are all broken out. Ugh.
Like those truckers that like you have sleeper cabs where they're like over the road for like weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Those things get so fucking stinky.
I'm sure.
Gross.
I am sure.
Ugh.
No, they're just mice and spiders and
No, I don't think they get mice or spiders. They move too much. But
just talking about sitting there in the fucking junkyard with all
well,
the
maybe in the junkyard. I'm just talking about like the ones that are like if that truck was in service, like it would probably stink.
Well, after she punches him in the face that next morning, they're at that like monument. That's like really beautiful.
Yeah.
That lookout or whatever. Oh, that's so sick. Tell me if you wouldn't want to pull over and sit at that like little half wall overlooking that body of water.
Of course.
Where they were starting. I could fucking picnic there on a road trip.
Oh, definitely. Fucking road trips. You need to do that.
All of a sudden, all those biker guys come up, and at first it seems like it's ominous, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, fuck. But then one of them like looks at him and just smiles.
And then fucking send me an angel kicks in.
This is actually kind of a cool part. I like some of the scenery, though, in the, this because it starts a montage.
Yeah, it does.
I always thought that was kind of a weak montage.
Putnam puts his hands on kids again during this montage. He's got a lot of nerve.
But like the montage shows the kids side of the road with a Reno or bus sign, so they're hitchhiking. They're on their way to Reno.
Yeah.
We see Nick and Sam are on the road hunting for them. They're showing a lot of time passing.
That's what a montage does.
Totally. They need a mountain. And it ends with him at that monument, fucking Putnam, and a truck drives by cranking music. The kids are in that truck, and Putnam has his back to it. He's like, "Turn down the music, ass." He has no idea that the people he's hunting for were right fucking there.
Yes.
Yeah, and for him to be like, who is he? Who the fuck is he to tell somebody to turn their music down?
Turn that garbage down, idiots.
But they're in the back of that truck with like those indigenous people.
Yeah, and he goes,
he says something to him, and then Jimmy just goes, "Hi." I love that. When
so
Jimmy, anytime Jimmy speaks, it's like it's very impactful.
Oh yeah.
I would say, Jimmy, don't be insensitive. You say how.
You do a rain dance.
Are they in the diner yet?
Yes, they're at the diner. We get
Beth Grant.
Beth Grant
is the diner manager. For those who don't know, she's in a long list of things.
A lot of stuff.
We've had her. We've had her on the pod as
she's like
that chick. She's Chris Cole's mom in Rockstar.
Yes. But this is where we get our second
hanging tough. Hanging tough.
Oh, you.
So the kids are playing against these.
We're rough.
Bullies.
Sorry.
Yeah.
These bullies, kind of.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what they're playing.
I didn't write it.
Are they playing Ninja Gaiden in this one, or is that
they might be, or
4,000 climbing on F1 Dream.
Yeah, that's.
Oh no, yeah, F1 Dream. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. What is this kid? Some kind of cyborg?
Yeah,
I don't remember F1 Dream.
I don't
either, but it definitely was like a race car game, obviously, and it might have been arcade.
You had Rad Racer. Like, what else did you know?
I know, and they do play
around. That's coming here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And then there's this kid that's sitting in the diner, and he's like,
He's good, but he never beat Lucas. Lucas? Nobody's better than Lucas. Lucas is awesome. Oh, really? And where might we find this Lucas?
I've always hated him. I always hated that dude.
He kind of reminds me of the kid at the end of the Crossfire commercial who goes, "Yeah,
yep.
yeah." At least in my brain.
Okay, does he live at an airfield? Is that where he just hangs out? Does his dad?
No, that's a diner. That's a diner, and his dad. We find out in a deleted scene that it's revealed that the restaurant, that kid that goes, he's good, but he's not as good as Lucas. he says, "Oh, his dad owns the restaurant that we're in right now."
Okay.
So Lucas's dad owns the restaurant, so that's why he's always there hanging out. Like when they come there later, and he's like, "I can tell you where they're at." And he's sitting at the counter, and he shows them the video Armageddon thing.
Yeah.
He's still because he's at the restaurant.
That makes sense but did you guys not see the airplanes flying in and out right behind them too? They're at, like that diner's like at an airport, at a near
It's
pier.
probably next to a small airfield.
I know.
Yeah,
like
they're
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they're in the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere.
I know,
like a
but
small,
like-
so it's a runway probably next to the highway.
That's fucking awesome. Like that's still my dream to get my pilot's license one day, and I would love to be at an airfield like that, little tiny guy. That's why I'm just like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you
But
can
what
go
is
in
the
there and get
situation here?
lunch and shit. They're dope.
Yeah, I was like, what's the situation here?
But I like here how like Lucas is there and he has like true like kind of like goons or whatever.
Yeah,
like he has like these like minion guys that kind of throw down the sleeve of video games, and he goes,
So, you the wizard?
No, he is.
This guy? I don't get it. Is he like a poster child for someone?
For your information, butthead, he's headed for the video championships in Los Angeles.
Is that right? Well, let's just see how good he is then. Guys, pick any game you want. I'm good at all of them. I have 97 of them.
You know all 97 of them?
I'll be honest, guys. I never once got to use a power glove.
I feel like I had a memory that maybe we had one and it sucked.
I've used one.
Or
yeah.
I used one, but I don't know if we had one or not.
A friend of mine, he had one.
I have a memory of it sucking.
Yes, because like it worked on a couple of games, like Rad Racer, things like that. But like you had to like you could assign buttons and stuff like that. There's the 9 buttons up at the top. You had the rest of the normal controller, and you would have to set things up and like to do. It was complicated as all shit.
Totally.
You would have to change it for every single game, like reprogram it for every single game, and it wasn't that good. So it was like you're spending, and at the time, like we played for like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Sometimes you play a hell of a lot longer, but you know, you're sitting there for 5, 10 minutes doing that. And you're like, this sucks. Let's go play football. Like, or just use the other controller.
Well, you know, they had do you remember the robot?
Yeah.
Yes. That thing was fucking terrible
For
too.
Gyromite?
Yeah. And then, do you remember the mat for like track and field?
Oh, dude, you stand on the side, you go.
No, I mean, I didn't cheat. So
we cheated. Oh, dude, we had like the world record. Like we had did 100 in like 3 seconds.
We've got a cheater on our hands, Jason.
He is a cheater.
So I think the next thing we have is this when Nick and Sam are in the motel room,
and we get a little touching moment with him. Like,
well, he's playing the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, he does, and yeah, it's
the sights and sounds of that game brought back memories.
Oh, dude,
man.
like this entire
we had that game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so did I, and I played that game a lot, and I never beat it.
I always wanted the arcade version, and I think I got it way later. And it's
Well, it came out
fun.
later.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's a little touching moment. Christian Slater.
Well, at first he's
Nick-
just like Sam's just being like, "Oh, are you playing that game?" Or he's kind of downplaying it, and then he's kind of curious, like so, asking questions,
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the next morning. You see Nick waking up.
Dude
And
never wakes
slowly
up for anything.
You hear that music, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he looks over.
You really play this thing, huh?
That's right.
What's that one called?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Doesn't take much intelligence to play that game, does it?
You should know. What the hell are you doing?
I don't believe this. I got the scroll weapon, and I almost beat Mecha Turtle at the end of level 3.
You got the scroll weapon.
Yeah.
He's losing his mind.
Sam is like tongue out, like making the like little kid video game face, you
Yeah.
know, where he's like, ugh. He's like holding the controller up, like moving his body to the right when he wants his character, and, like doing all the shit.
You got the scroller weapon.
Yeah, I feel like anytime that they showed somebody playing video games on a commercial or a movie, or like they're always like
super into it,
moving their body around and their hands around. I'm like, you didn't have to do any of that. It's
No.
wasted. But how many? I mean,
but there was that kid that would get like overly excited and like stand up and shit.
Yeah, fuck those kids.
but we've all been up all night playing TMNT.
Oh yeah.
And back then, I would like play
that and,
Nintendo a lot. That was like one of the things to do.
It was. But then
The kids are waking up at that abandoned drive-in theater.
Yeah.
Which you're like, back then it was already like that abandoned. damn,
dude, like it was
like they all look like that now for sure, but no, there's probably a few of them out there.
I miss the drive-ins, but like Haley knew like right away that those kids were coming. So I'm wondering if she's had interactions with those fuckers before. She's like, Corey, we got to go. Like, it was just 3 dudes in a truck.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, because she's from
those are the kids.
She's from Reno.
I know.
so
I know. Those are the kids that they
punked at the diner earlier for like.
But
video
she knew
games.
from like they were a ways off when it happened. So I'm just like,
well, like they're heading towards them in this big empty thing. So they're like, this isn't good.
Yeah, I think
No.
they just picked up on that. She just picked up on it right away. Like,
she's more street smart.
And those guys are like they're like teenagers, and they beat up those little kids.
Oh, dude, bully instincts came out hard on this one.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to fight those kids. Like I want to go back in time and beat those kids up in real life because they just look like dicks.
Corey's like ready to quit, basically, and Jimmy's like,
Corey, I don't want to quit.
Jimmy! Oh, you want to play? He wants to play. You're not quitting here, okay?
It's like the most he said really
Yeah.
all movie besides California.
yeah, and that's what I mean. Is like he's listening and he's paying attention. That's
Yeah.
why he's just fucked up from the fucking watching his twin sister drown.
Like, because he was like,
Totally.
and as Corey tells the story, I don't know if it's when he tells it here or later, but
You're
he's
probably
like,
gonna say exactly what I'm thinking. Go. I'm
like,
curious.
like she was just a few feet away.
She was in 2 feet of water, just a few feet away. There was nothing he could do.
Yeah, because he was scared of the water or something like
or
that.
something where I was just like, oh. And at this point, he's 7. They said it was 2 years ago. You're like
5 years
dude,
old.
Yeah. No 5-year-old can be responsible for that.
No.
But he just has to live with the guilt, and it's a twin. Like, from what I understand, there's quite a connection when you have a twin.
I don't
know, but
Yeah, the story of her
seems
death
to be a thing.
and the way it affected the family. It's really sad because it
Yeah.
like tore the family apart.
Totally.
Totally.
This is
And
why they have
as any losing any child would.
Uh-huh.
This is the point in the movie where I'm just like, you get your ass down to LA and win it. Not for anybody, but for Jenny.
You get out there and you find that fucking duck.
I said duck, I meant dog.
Taking a blue duck.
I actually said ball. I was thinking ball for some reason. So
We were both
wrong.
Yay.
Yeah, high five. That was a weak high five. Get me better than that.
All right.
Oh, I had the next thing was when Putnam goes in and runs the kids' pinball game.
Yes. Okay. I had that.
This is out of the drive-in thing.
I have Putnam sucks. Fuck Putnam.
I put, yeah, because the dialogue is,
Listen up, fruit fly. It's time to get real. 2 kids. One is 9, one is 13. There's a girl with him, and they've been hanging out in arcades. Have you seen them?
I wouldn't tell you if I knew.
Putnam's he's a fucking creep.
yeah, and he's not intimidating. I was
He's
just
not.
like, fuck you, douche.
Yeah.
He looks like a nerdy
Pay me
version.
$50.
You know the guy in RoboCop who kills Murphy?
Yes.
He looks like
yeah.
a nerdy version of that guy.
Rex.
Yeah.
No, he was red in fucking that 70s show, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where Putnam is when Sam and Nick spot his car outside that.
Yeah.
And so when he's on his way out, there's like, son of a bitch. And he takes the U-turn and like rams him and shit. Oh,
and then
all of this is goof bucketry at its finest.
Oh my God. So like
for sure.
Total goof bucketry. And the old man on the porch just watching it with a beer is like, that makes that scene.
Oh yeah. Just going back and forth being like,
yeah.
They just pan to him and he's just like sitting there looking. He's not laughing. He's not mad. He's just like,
Yeah, he doesn't get to see shit like this like every day on his porch. That's what he's here for.
and then this scene actually ends with them. I don't know if there's anything else, but it ends with them pulling into Reno. Scene 3?
Scene 3. Scene 3 now.
Now that we've gotten mushy. Scene 3 now.
Scene 3.
Now that the kids are in Reno, they immediately gain $400 with the help from Haley's trucker friend Spanky, whom Haley coaches to success at a casino craps table. They then spend the next 3 days preparing for video Armageddon. Jimmy begins training on arcade machines around the Reno casinos with help from Haley's research on the Nintendo Power Line.
Totally forgot about the Nintendo Power
I know,
Line.
right? We do. Meanwhile, Nick and Sam get a lead on the trio's trail, but they also have another run-in with Putnam, resulting in their truck being towed and stripped at a tow yard.
Putnam always goes after their vehicles.
Yeah, because he's a pussy.
After the kids spend a couple of days preparing, Putnam finally catches up to them. The children narrowly escape from Putnam after Haley causes a scene in a casino.
He touched my breasts!
They head to Haley's father's... Wow. They head to Haley's trailer to lay low, where she reveals she wants her share of the prize money to help her father buy a proper house. Corey and Haley also awkwardly share their first kiss. Meanwhile, Sam is again playing Corey's Nintendo as Nick informs him that their truck is somewhat put back together and ready to get back on the kids' trail.
Adults didn't play Nintendo that much back then. It's just weird to see.
Putnam then finds Haley's trailer and captures Jimmy, but Haley summons several truckers who barricade Putnam on the road. They rescue Jimmy and beat Putnam's ass.
So you touched her breast, huh?
Spanky then drives the children to the tournament all the way in Hollywood. They enter Jimmy into the contest and go inside where they witness Lucas becoming a finalist. Then Jimmy also becomes a finalist after playing Ninja Gaiden. In between rounds, Putnam shows up and unsuccessfully reattempts to apprehend the children. By this time, Jimmy's mom and stepdad have also arrived, disappointed in Putnam's inability to get Jimmy back. Also, Nick and Sam have shown up as well.
Yay, the gang's all here!
After almost missing his chance, Jimmy joins Lucas and third finalist Maura Grissom to compete in the tournament's final round. They have 10 minutes to score as many points as possible in Super Mario Bros. 3, a brand new game not yet released in the United States.
Memories.
Cheered on by his family, Haley, and now even Putnam.
Find a warp! If he finds a warp, he can jump worlds!
Jimmy wins at the last second, becoming the tournament champion and earning the cash prize. As the entire family heads home, accompanied by Haley, Jimmy suddenly becomes restless upon spotting the Cabazon dinosaurs,
California!
causing them to stop the car. That was good.
Yeah.
They follow him inside, and Corey finds Jimmy looking at his photos of the family, one of which was taken at the tourist trap. They realize that Jimmy only sought closure where Jennifer was happy.
This whole time, he just wanted to leave his lunchbox of pictures at the Pee-wee's Big Adventure dinosaurs.
Thank you.
Jimmy leaves his lunchbox at the site, and the family resumes the car trip. Jimmy kisses Haley, who laughs along with Corey in the back of the truck as they ride off into the sunset. Credits roll!
Ooh, buddy.
Okay, so Frank McRae as Spanky.
Yes.
I say, what a sweet man. If you guys don't recall, he was the security guard at Wally World.
Okay, yes, of course.
Clark treats him like a dog.
Yes, and he was also
They
in
treated
that
me like a dog.
Batteries Not Included. Is that what that was called?
Yep. Yeah, he was also in
Oh,
Batteries
yeah,
Not Included.
The little spaceship thing.
Yeah, they were like kind of adorable. Well, I will say that this scene, we could say that this another montage starts up.
Yes.
So they're
Yeah.
playing video games. You get to see like Corey, like kind of hitting on the waitress, "Yo, babe," because she's like selling like candy and sweets
there's
to
like
the
a-
kids at the arcade. But it's like he's treating it like a casino, you know. And this is kind of like the fun montage, and it shows Haley constantly on the phone, and she goes on the phone like with the power line, like talks about every game. That's what they're stuffing down on the montage. They're talking about everything. And I wanted to bring up that I don't know if this is a deleted scene that you know of, but does she find out here about Mario 3?
No.
Because she is yelling insider knowledge, her and Corey.
I know.
During the competition. We'll get there later.
Yeah, we'll get there later.
But I was assuming, I
and
bet there was shit
some of
cut
it,
out.
Some of it is like it's Mario Brothers, so there's going to be warps, right?
Right.
But the whistle,
Yeah, it was the whistle thing that always got me. I'm like, how the fuck did you know? And it was
but anyway, a couple things about
But-
that, like because when you talked about like the Nintendo power line.
yes.
So imagine working a job as a Nintendo game expert. That'd be kind of sick, right? Back in that time period. I wonder what it paid. Dude has all his books and manuals. He's almost like a parts guy.
Yeah, I know. So like I love that,
love it.
and it just they walk through like here's the updates, here's the updates, and they're just like, all right, cool. Like so,
He's like, where are you at in the game?
yeah.
And he's ready to go.
Well, and
Yeah, and in some cases he's got to play it with them and shit.
so it makes you think that there's a whole other part of this company that you don't see that's downstairs playing the games. Like that's what I wanted to do.
Oh, there's I knew about testers too. I mean, there's
well,
like video game
I didn't know that
testers,
at the time. I go, Dad, what is that? And he was like, I don't know, probably play the games and stuff. I was like, I want to do that.
But we have a montage of like them playing and testing different video games.
Oh, I love
Yes.
it. Fucking
And this
love
is
it.
when we see RC Pro-Am,
Yes.
which
Yep.
is that was
Very
a fucking
cool.
cool game. I enjoyed that game back in the day.
And then it cuts to Putnam at the payphone or whatever. And I think he's like, that's when he sees Nick and Sam pull up again.
right.
And these two
And
guys
there's a tow
encounter
truck
each other.
next to him.
Yeah, he fucking, yes, exactly. He
Hey, you want to
gets
make
their,
$50?
gets their car towed while they're in there like getting a quick bite to eat.
So this is also like where they see the kid that took their money because he knows Nick notices the kid's hat.
But the hat scene, I love that hat scene because he's like, "Where'd you get that hat?" And he's like, "Some idiot."
Mind if I ask you where you got that hat?
I got it from one.
Where'd you get that hat? Huh?
Couple kids. They owe me some cash.
Where'd they go?
Who knows?
Hey, I'll tell you where they were going.
There's a scene where they're like, it's Haley, Corey, and Jimmy, and they're like sitting like on steps, I think.
Yeah, it's like
and he's
like kind of having a strategy
and
session.
he's come back and he's bought some dumb shit.
Yes.
And they're talking and they pan away and then they just all of a sudden pan to Jimmy and he's put on the Groucho glasses.
Yes.
And he's just sitting there like calmly, blankly staring. I fucking laugh my ass off at that scene because
Yeah,
he's just.
Corey bought sunglasses and she's just like, no, they're not good. And she shows like the bullshit she bought. And then that's when it cuts to that.
Yeah.
And it's like this perfect levity of this. But you can tell they're kind of spending this money on like kind of bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
So we see now Putnam has arrived. Is that where he's like in Reno now?
Yeah, then Putnam sees him. He's there and he sees him. He's crossing the line again, obviously, because he always does.
Right. And so he goes in and gets Jimmy and he starts taking him away. That's when Haley.
He touched my breast!
What the hell are you doing?
No, I didn't touch anything. You can't touch anything. You can't
But yeah, when Putnam he like throws that guy down at the casino, I would crush his fucking skull.
Oh,
couldn't they have cast a tougher looking like guy to play that
Surely
character?
we could do better than this.
Yeah.
And I know it's a small part.
Roll in Charlton Heston, you're like, whoa.
And he's like,
yeah, he has a little tear.
yeah, because after the casino, that's what you see. The kids have made their escape and they make it back to her trailer.
Right.
All movie, she had been bragging about how they have this really nice place in Reno. So you're kind of deciding to see her bullshit melt away. And you could tell she had been embarrassed by it, where these boys don't give a shit.
Right.
So they're just like, oh, this is your place? I just thought it was funny how he's like, your situation's like Zelda.
That's
Yeah. So stupid.
Well, and she's got the AstroTurf up there.
AstroTurf up top. Yeah. It's fucking great.
And the kiss scene is hilarious.
It is. I was so jealous of him as a kid.
Same.
As a kid. I'm like,
she's older than us. She's older than me.
Yeah, she's like 76 or something like that.
Yeah, born in like 76, I think.
She pushes him away by the face, and the way it's kind of a weird way that like all of a sudden it's like a reverse psychology. All of a sudden to get her to kiss, that's weird.
Yeah,
there's no way. I'm not kissing a girl. Maybe he's smart ass, and then she grabs him and kisses him.
Yeah,
and then like after she kisses him, she turns away and she like starts. Like, do you notice how she's like pointing her feet together and like making all those like nervous?
Yeah, she was like, kind of like
that was
whatever.
like me when I had my first kiss. I kissed the girl and then I just started sprinting up the street to my house.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know what to do
immediately
now.
afterwards. I was like, I don't know. I just had this burst of like, I gotta run.
I gotta go. Yeah. But yeah, so
it was last week.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Nice,
dude,
congratulations,
so sweet, man. Awesome.
And then Putnam shows up. Well, they don't know it. They're in there
No.
and they realize that Jimmy's gone and his stuff is still sitting there. And then they go outside and Putnam is like carrying Jimmy to the car.
Why doesn't he open the fucking door? He's sitting there with his hands on it before it even starts to move. Open the door. Open the door.
Probably a child lock because they had those in cars back
True.
then.
Maybe.
And then so they're driving down and Putnam like throws all those suckers back there to Jimmy. And then you don't see Jimmy, but you just see the one sucker like come flying back up into the front seat and hits Putnam.
Yeah, I fucking love that.
That was funny.
And then, dude, Spanky to the fucking rescue,
Spanky
man.
and his trucker friends saved the day.
I would be
That's a pretty good
fucking
scene.
scared. I would be so scared if I was Putnam. Like,
yeah, so to describe it, there's like obviously as he's driving along, there's two truckers in both lanes of the road in front of him. He's like, what the fuck? And he has no choice but to slam on the brakes.
and then there's
And then two more come up right behind him and box him in.
And they're all huge.
And they're
Yeah.
and they're like in
They
a
all
little
hop out
crevasse
together.
They're in this little crevasse, so he can't go around. It's like I am fucked.
And at
right
first, no, he's like, what? All right, I want all your driver's license numbers, every one of you.
Oh, you're drunk. Yeah. What are you, a cop? Get out of here, you fucking.
And then he just,
Fucking, he's a Karen.
and then one of them goes, so you touched her breast, huh?
That's Spanky.
And he
Like,
just knows. He's like, oh,
oh no.
The next thing is Putnam is having a Slurpee outside of he's sitting on the curb next to his car at 7-Eleven
icing his black eye
with a
his
Slurpee. And then oddly enough, I watched this on 7-Eleven, which was what, 3 days ago?
Oh,
interesting.
2 days
I didn't
ago?
even think
nice,
about
nice.
that. Never forget. So then you see Spanky is driving the kids now the rest of the way.
Right. He stole
yeah.
he stole somebody's truck, which I think is her dad's truck or something like that. He was like, he'd be,
Well, they made mention of the name. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I think he's like Pete or something. He's going to be pissed or something like that.
Then we get they finally make it to Video Armageddon.
Yeah, we're at video. Oh, well, when Spanky drops him off, though, when the kids, Jimmy goes, "Bye, Spanky."
Oh, I know.
And the other kids are like, "Thanks, Spanky." And
Yeah.
now we're at Video Armageddon.
And who do we see?
We see Lucas rocking another Vision Streetwear shirt.
Not that. Who's the guy that checks him in?
I don't know. That guy was kind of goofy though.
Lee Ehrenberg. He got in the fight with George over the spot in Seinfeld. He's one of those like that guy.
I actually kind of liked his performance here.
I did too, but he was goofy.
Loved it.
I loved it. And I even put registration guy rules because when he's like, "We're playing Ninja Gaiden,"
Guy done.
Yeah.
Hi, ha. And then he's all into it. I had always hoped that like there would be a like Video Armageddon thing like that I could go to and do that. I get the time.
Yeah, that sounded like such a cool idea when I was watching this as a kid, and
now they have it.
I'm like, nah, I don't care.
Now they fucking have it. I go
for games I don't want to watch.
Yeah,
for
so
a while.
last
it's
place
should
I would
have zero desire.
It's the last place I would want to go to now.
If they had something like this and they were playing like Super Mario Brothers, fuck yeah. Or if they came out with Super Mario Brothers 4 for the Nintendo, the NES, fuck yeah, I'd be there.
They revealed that there's a new game. Did we cover that?
Not yet.
They don't tell us what it is yet, but he says it'll be a new game.
Right. Yeah, it'll be a new game. A new game, and Haley's all pissed off about it, and they're all starting to walk out.
And this is when we see Lucas and his gang.
Right.
His friends.
Well, so before that, we see Bateman and all of them. Christine mentions that...
Shut up! Oh my God, I don't care!
But we see Lucas and his gang come outside because they're like trying to get... They realize that these people are looking for Jimmy.
Yeah.
And he's afraid Jimmy might beat him, so he wants him to get taken. And this is when we have Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Makes an uncredited appearance.
Yep.
He's on the left
Sweet
of the
fucking
group.
mullet.
He has the ultimate skater cut / mullet. He's
Oh, I
got the
love it.
Tony
Yeah.
Hawk thing up top,
Yeah.
with the mullet in the back.
But that kid that says that line.
This is like one of the only like lines I highlighted in the movie.
Okay.
To quote.
All right. Do you want
It's
to
unreal.
Hey, Lucas, man, that was great. You're gonna rip their gizzards out, man. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, it's so bad. So fucking
And then
bad.
even Lucas goes, yeah, look, dork lips. Why don't you just make yourself useful and go get me a cold drink?
And he just
he even treats him like shit. But
Yeah.
it is so awkwardly delivered. It's just asking for like you're just like, oh, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
So weird. Did you know? Did you
even pick
stick
up
out
on
to
this?
you?
No.
When he comes
dude.
out, yay, Lucas,
He was like,
you're gonna rip
Hey,
your
Lucas,
gizzards out, man.
He's like, hey, Lucas, man.
Is that when they're out on the steps?
Yes.
No,
That
I
fucking
didn't, I
kid.
didn't notice it.
Okay.
But then they get on the fucking trams going through the tour, the tour of Universal.
Well, the tram ride is just an excuse to get us all like the Universal Studios.
Yeah, we get to
things.
see
So
King
they're
Kong.
just promoting it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just there's a few scenes. Not only I'm reminded of Nintendo on a few scenes, not Nintendo. Fucking Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
There's
Because
just-
Universal Studios.
Because they have, but there's just so many themes that hit in that same time era where I'm like, and there was one earlier that I didn't bring up because who gives a shit? So this is the second one, and there's just something they kind of like live in the same spot in my head for whatever reason.
Did you notice the fucking tour guide on the tram?
Oh, please sit down and have fun.
Please just sit down and have fun.
I did like that.
Just sit down and have fun, damn it.
Please sit down and have fun. Just sit down and have fun, damn it.
I'm just like this tram. There's the tram thing. Like it goes on and on for a while, longer than it should.
Yes.
And then they almost get caught by Dickhead, and they get in that little cage and they go down. And then we don't need to go in too much about that. But Jimmy,
Yeah, he ends up on the stage.
The dude is the host of Video Armageddon. Is like he's already announced Lucas and Mora already.
Right.
And he's like, Jimmy Woods, and he's just like nowhere to be found.
Yep.
And then he's like, all right, here we go. And they open up the thing, and Jimmy's already on his podium.
Yep.
And the host of Video Armageddon, as he is announcing Jimmy, or he's trying to announce Jimmy, I don't know if this is intentional, but he quotes Black Flag.
Oh, really?
He goes,
Gimme, gimme, gimme. Jimmy. What?
and that's the same as the song Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. Gimme, gimme, gimme. It's the same cadence and everything. I need some more. Gimme, gimme, gimme.
I did
Don't
not.
ask what for. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
know that
like,
song.
I'm like,
I
it
know-
straight up
I mean-
sounds.
Vision Streetwear. I mean, there might have been some people.
Could have been somebody that's, connected to the scene. But anyway, we have all three of the contestants on the podiums and we're ready to go. So the host of Video Armageddon is like,
Super Mario Brothers 3!
I'm getting chills, dude. That fucking scene is so dope because that game was so good.
And when you hear that music, you're like, yes.
And you've seen that movie. If you saw that movie when it came out, you've never played that game before.
Little did you know how much we would all be playing that game when that movie came out.
You're going to different, like you get to choose your levels. Like it was so fucking badass. I remember that. I was so stoked. I wanted to play it so bad. Why did Corey and Haley essentially narrate what he has to do? Find the warps, get the whistle, get the star.
That was the shit I was loving.
They're trying to help. They're trying to help.
How do they know?
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Is like obviously it's Mario Brothers, so you're going to know there's warps. That's a huge part of Mario Brothers. But the whistle, they wouldn't have known about the whistle.
No, that's. I knew
but this is a ladder rung thing though.
I know, but like it wasn't a major ladder rung because like it was something that how the fuck it doesn't make sense.
So there's Jimmy's, there's like a little bit of back and forth. Jimmy like
he's showing the points and shit.
Yeah, he dies
and
twice.
Sam is like super amped. He's like really stoked for his kid, like playing well and everything. And he's like, and then Nick goes, "He's a changed man, this guy."
Did you see Fred Savage's face when that? I think like Bo Bridges like took it a little bit too far, and Fred Savage was like, "Dude, what the fuck?" Like his face was like, "Dude."
But it's like not the father he knows.
Right. But no, like it was just like I think bro like went off on that. But
so
Corey hasn't been seeing like this transformation that's been happening with Nick over the road.
Yeah. So who gets the $50,000?
Jimmy does.
But Haley thinks she's taking some of it too.
That was part of the deal early in the movie.
Right. Yeah, maybe. But Jimmy's parents may have something else to say about that.
I know. So that's what I mean. Like what do you think is going to happen
but
here?
Jimmy
almost
wins.
felt like they were taking her home like sloth.
You're going to live with me now.
Fred would love that. Or Corey would love that. But I completely forgot about the ending. Like the dinosaur, the Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
I think about Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Same.
Pee-wee and Pee-wee's Big Adventure and this movie are what made me as a kid want to go there. And I've still never been there. I've never even driven on the road by them.
Me neither.
I've been like probably within a short amount of miles from them. But the thing I want to ask you guys, I've got a question. So we see they go to the dinosaurs. Jimmy goes up in the front of the one dinosaur, and they find him behind the curtain. And he's got his lunchbox, and he's getting the pictures out. And then they all come in, they find him, and they realize what he's doing.
Right.
And then he closes it up, and they all kind of like make, there's like a tender moment, and he leaves his lunchbox.
Yep.
My question is, do you think his lunchbox is still there?
I think so. I hope
in
it
2024.
I bet Carlo opened the next morning and was like, "What the fuck is this?" It was just behind a curtain. It's not like
35 years
not a
later.
sacred place. It's not a time capsule. I mean, it was found probably later that day.
Serious answer to a
I know, right?
Not
What
serious
the fuck?
question.
I'm sorry, but I had that exact thought when I was watching it. Like, yo, like the lady who runs this little gift shop you guys walked through to get to that curtain, is just going to see that lunchbox like later that day.
But in Jimmy's mind, it's there, and it'll always be there, just like with Jenny. Isn't her name Jenny? Jennifer?
It's in a
Jimmy and Jenny, right?
Jennifer.
Yes.
Nobody ever calls her Jenny.
It's open and upside down in the trash bag by the Brontosaurus's leg.
Okay, but so you guys did not see the post-credit scene?
No.
So there's a post-credit scene. Like it's only on certain like international copies. Like you have to get it out of like Timor-Leste or something like that.
Get what?
Timor-Leste. It's a little tiny island nation in the Pacific. So it takes
Can you
place.
spell that for me?
TIMOR-LESTE. Timor-Leste. Anyways, so it takes place about 6 months after all of this stuff happened, and it kind of takes a really dark turn. Jimmy's back in the institution, chained to the wall. Bateman is in jail from beating Christine, his mom. Christian Slater's like fucked off to California, skating with Tony Hawk and Yabo. Corey, he tried to go back to get Haley, but her dad was not having any of it and kicked his ass out. Sam fucked up another casserole, burned down the house, depressed himself, went ahead and drank him off onto the street. Like it took a dark turn at the end.
That's what you think happened?
No, that's why it's on this like special international copy.
Oh,
Like,
okay, cool.
But I'm just glad that I'm glad that Nick is off skating with,
he
with
said
Tony
fuck
Hawk
this.
and Yabo.
Yeah, he went off with Tony Hawk and Yabo and Mike Vallely. But yeah, that was it. That's
You
all
mean
I have.
Rodney Mullen?
And Rodney Mullen too. So should we
I'll
rate
go,
this
I'll
shit?
go first.
All right, go for it. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
If I was going to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10 Power Gloves,
So bad.
or 0 to 10 maybe,
Yeah.
I'm going to
what
give it a
would you-
7 out of 10.
Okay.
And I say this is a good one. I own it. So should you. Go buy it.
I respect that. I'll go next. I am going to give this a 6 out of 10 Power Gloves. And I'm going to say watch it. You should form your opinion on it. I almost said don't watch this one. I felt bad. Because it's not quite the coming of age, quite the road trip movie, quite the comedy, it just felt like there's like more drama and just I was more watching to find out what happened to the characters, but I don't know. Maybe the 2.5 hour cut will make me feel differently. Because I didn't completely hate anything. It's definitely worth a watch. 6.
I think mine's
6
more.
Power Gloves.
That extra point for me because I was gonna go 6.
Yeah.
Right.
But I was like, I feel like this movie deserves a 7, and I think that extra point was nostalgia.
Yeah,
It's
so much of that.
big
I
on
think that's
nostalgia
why I
for me.
got to the 6 because
It's fun
I still
because of the
enjoyed
nostalgia.
watching
Yeah.
it because of that, for sure.
See,
I feel like they're only speaking to me though, and I just could see how other people would be like, "Yo, that sucked." Like that didn't love Nintendo or that era. Like I was Jimmy's age when this came out, you know.
Yeah. Well, I always thought that this was like one of the best movies ever and everything like that. And I watched it this time with a critical eye, as critical as I could be.
Sure.
Yeah,
And-
we counted your ladder rungs.
Yeah. And I wanted to like it so much more than I did. I thought like in my head, it always like had like a just under Goonies type of thing. Not, but it doesn't. So I'm a 6 out of 10 and a watch. Like
Okay.
I couldn't say it's a buy. I'm going to show Gavin. The only reason like that's kind of one of the things like if it's a buy for me because like I want Gavin to see this movie.
Yeah, I like the idea of kids out on an adventure.
Yes.
And it's like when you hear that, you're just like, oh, you want it to be so much more. Like there is like kids out on an adventure type movies that have really nailed it. And this one, I don't know.
It wasn't quite there. Like
Yeah,
anyway,
it was just
so
Okay, so everybody's rated it. It's time for the Movie Roulette podcast bi-weekly
weekly.
fuckface challenge.
okay.
Yeah,
So
Fudgers.
this week's fuckface challenge is you are 7 years old, so you're Jimmy and you're running away. You've got a lunchbox that you take your stuff in. What kind of lunchbox do you have? Meaning like what's the artwork on it?
Yep.
What's the theme?
Right.
Not whether it's plastic or metal.
Sure.
And what's inside of it? What do you keep in it?
All right, I can go first.
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't feel great about this, boys. So
Oh man, come on. We need a good one.
I'm going to assume that I have a Goonies or possibly a Ghostbusters lunchbox, assuming that those were out by the time this was out in 1989, because that's when I was 7.
Right.
I'm going to assume I have something like that. And inside, if you open it up, we got probably a few baseball cards, stack of marbles, Petey. I mean,
Petey.
I meant PB and J sandwich, maybe like a little bag of like Doritos. And then I probably have a pocket knife because like I would have thought that was very, very cool. And I probably would have had like a Def Leppard or a Bon Jovi cassette tape.
I'll go next. So, as I was saying earlier, like this is my story. I already did this, so I'll tell you what was in my TMNT metal lunchbox. It was
Okay.
fucking badass. I grabbed like some Echo coolers and some Squeeze-Its, Dunkaroos, Oreo Cakesters, PB Crisps, had all that stuff ready to go. That was what was in there. Also had my most important issue of the most recent issue of the Nintendo Power, my Power Mag, if you will. And my controller from the NES, the NES Advantage. Do you guys remember that one? It was the arcade style
Yes.
controller. It had the
was
turbo.
it like a pad almost? Yeah, I remember.
I
those.
had that thing. That was the only way I could land a plane in Top Gun with that controller.
I never learned to do that.
I could do it with that controller.
How'd you fit your magazine into a lunchbox?
You got to fold it.
Yeah, dude. Do you
Because
hear all
I
the
was gonna
snacks
pick,
you
I was
load on?
gonna
I'm like,
pick a
you can't even-
magazine, but I was like, it's not gonna fit in a lunchbox. I'm
It's
not
a-
gonna like fold it in 4.
It's my pretend.
I was just trying to think of like what I was into when I was 7. And I was like, that shit would be in that lunchbox.
See, I didn't even think I had tapes at that time. But what
That's
was
why
yours?
I folded up pictures from the magazine. Maybe a Playboy that I took out of the Constructs box that was buried at the.
I'm going to take your cue that I'm just pretend a magazine's small enough to fit in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, fun.
They never made them back in the day, but I would have had a rad lunchbox.
Okay.
Inside of it would have been the latest issue of Freestyling magazine, baseball cards, lots of candy, and Ridge Rider miniature BMX bike toys. The early flick tricks, if you want to call it that. Okay, so we have concluded The Wizard, and it's time to spin that wheel and find out what comes next.
I need something good.
Yeah, we need something monumental. Hopefully.
All right.
I know we say that every
Hopefully.
time, but it's like daunting right after we finish an episode to think of doing a shitty episode.
I really love the sound of this thing.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Let's fucking go. This better be something good.
I feel like I want to look this time. I'm going to look. I'm looking. Stand by me.
Oh, dude, this is a fucking classic.
It's a drama,
dude.
but it's coming of age. It's fucking.
Oh, dude, I think we
It's got some moments.
It does. It's got some feels. Dude, I'm fucking stoked for this
Yeah,
one.
like
Chopper, sick balls.
Sick balls.
I do enjoy this movie. I'm not gonna say that I don't really feel a certain way about doing an episode on it, but I like the movie, so we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. Like I said, a coming of age movie. They're, it's just some boys out on their own.
Dude, I love it. It's another little adventure movie. I remember fucking Kiefer Sutherland's awesome in it. We got another fucking Corey Feldman fucking movie. River Phoenix.
Rest in peace.
Richard Dreyfuss's voice.
Yeah, well, and he's actually in it. You got to see
Jerry
him.
O'Connell.
Yeah, Jerry O'Connell. Fucking
Chubby Bird.
What's his name? He was the main. He's the main character.
Chance.
Yeah, Chance.
No,
is it Will Wheaton?
Yeah, Will Wheaton is in it.
It's Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Because it's WIL, I think.
Will Wheaton.
His first name is
it's
just
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Yeah, because I think Will is just WIL.
It is. But I always
just can't
Will
do it.
Wheaton.
He just can't do it.
What? Why am I saying what? What way?
Are you them boys that have been whacking in my shed?
Well, dude, I'm stoked.
Beaver and butt scratch.
You guys got to watch the new
Your
episodes.
boy's been whacking.
So we'll see you guys next time. Shrout, what about the socials?
You can find us everywhere on the internet at The Movie Roulette Podcast, as well as themovieroulettepodcast.com. You guys know we've been back and forth with the video thing on YouTube.
Yeah, we're
'cause
figuring it out.
We've tried some different things, but I think
we're getting there.
I think we've got there might be video for this episode. So
Yep.
check it out on YouTube at the Movie Roulette Podcast.
Yeah, hopefully it's back going to where it's just like
we've got a new
we can have
method.
videos if that's what you guys are into.
But the main thing is we also have a bunch of shorts and stuff like that we're putting out just to kind of keep you guys interested. If you haven't seen it yet, we have extra videos out there to imagine. Oh yeah, and you go listen to this fucking podcast or go watch it.
It's a weird world, and movies are fun.
Movies
and
are
they're
fun.
a fun thing to do and to talk about with your friends.
Yes.
So watch the movies we roll. Stand by me this week, and join us for the hang when we discuss it next time.
And talk to us on the interwebs.
And then
Get
maybe
involved.
go
We'll
tell
talk
two
back.
friends.
And they tell two friends.
As
And they
always.
tell two friends.
And of course, be excellent to each other.
Bully.
Guys, fans, listeners, as the world crumbles around us, remember that you have a friend in each of us. And we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.
Later.
So gimme some more. Gimme. Doors for. Gimme. I need some more. Gimme. Don't ask what for. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stand here like a loaded gun.